What is it that inspired you to run for city council?
I've been interested to run for city council for some time now. A few years ago, I went through Leadership Austin. I was a graduate of 2013, learned about the civic process, but I've always been interested in government. In 2009, I helped founded Open Austin, which is a group to help make government more transparent because of things get passed that people don't know about or don't know the details of, and we don't have the accessibility that I think we should. So in 2013, when the 10-1 was on the ballot and we were going to have this new structure for city council, my son was born. And so it was not the right time. Now, my family has grown a little bit older. I have my feet under me, and now I'm seriously trying to promote change in our area. I think the current incumbent has made some mistakes that I feel that if we were championing transparency and government accountability, that they wouldn't have happened.
And give us some examples of that, where your concerns really stem from.
One example would be Pilot Knob, which is a development that is quickly known as Easton Park. There was a deal made that didn't have all the interested parties during the negotiation, and for exchange for 10% affordable housing, they did not have to pay towards the water installation for that development. So 100%, about $81 million of the water installation for water and wastewater, those funds got diverted, and so in order to pay for that, the city of Austin has to raise water rates for the next 10 to 20 years. And that really hurts affordability for the people who currently live here in the city.
And jumping off of that point, obviously there are so many, just about everything centers around affordability discussions when it comes to what direction the city needs to move in. What do you think needs to be done that hasn't been done? I feel like there's a lot of frustration with folks of how did we get here and what is it going to take to fix it?
Well, there's two ways to tackle affordability. There's the top solution and there's the bottom solution. So top is to make sure that we reduce costs. So there's a lot of fees, like the one I brought up about the water fee, that hurts affordability. We should definitely reduce those types of fees and those types of grants to developers who can afford to build here but are taking advantages of the system and causes the costs of people who currently live here to rise. So we need to arrest and drop that. What we need to also do is work with raising incomes. So there's minimum pay rates that we could raise that's for the city that we can directly impact, but part of it is the distributing jobs in the city. The city center downtown has a lot of the high-paying jobs. Also, there are some pockets here and there, but in District 2, there aren't really any high-paying jobs. So we should not just attract jobs to Austin, but we should attract companies to different parts of Austin so that people don't need to have a car to go to work. People can bike to work. And also it will raise the incomes of the people in the area. So I think those are the two ways that we can definitely try to tackle affordability, by letting people make more and having them pay less.
And that is a point that I know has been brought up so much in terms of all of the jobs still being downtown. So no matter how far out people go, everyone is still, for the most part, coming to that city center and obviously affecting transportation, traffic, congestion. What do you think needs to be done in that regard? I know that you just touched on it some, but I'd like to delve into that more.
Well, of course, people are still going to be working downtown, even if we do disperse jobs around the city. But that should alleviate some of the congestion. Part of the reason for reducing costs by fees is allowing people to live closer in. If you didn't have a car, then that's an expense you don't have to deal with anymore, and so you can probably afford a closer in home because it might be more expensive. What we also should do is look into more multimodal forms of transportation. Bikes, sidewalks, and of course buses have already been done. They could be improved and made a little bit more accessible. But we also should explore other options like the PRT system, which is a personal rapid transit, which is a point-to-point system where it's kind of like Uber. You press a button, an app on your phone, a pod comes to where you are and takes you directly where you need to go. This is a system that has been proposed several times, but Austin has not gotten behind. And the biggest advantage of that system is that it's 100% private. So there would be no public funds needed in order to get this system in place. We just need to say, yes, go ahead and do it.
And when you see, I mean, another big thing that's coming up is this mobility bond. I mean, what do you think happens after that? I know you just gave that one example. I mean, if you were elected, where do you start? Where do you start with all this?
Well, talking about the mobility bond, I personally am not for the mobility bond. I'm voting against it, and it's not because of what's in it. I think what's in it's really great, and it's not even the price tag, which are some of the things that are brought up as opposition, saying it's too expensive. The problem with it goes back to what I was saying before in terms of government accountability. We are eroding the trust of the people by not disclosing all the information. We do need to work on congestion. We do need to work on sidewalks. We do need to work on bike lanes. But the question is, for these corridors that they're supposedly fixing, there's not been one number to say this is going to increase mobility by this percent. 2%, 1%, 20%, 30%. It's hard to put a value on whether or not it's worth it to pass the bond if we don't know what it's worth. And without that value of understanding what we're getting in exchange for that money, I can't sign off on it.
Well, I want to open it back up to you of what you want people to know about you, more of your visions when they go to vote. Why do they need to really keep you top of mind?
Well, I think what we have is a legacy system in where we are patching problems instead of looking at underlying issues to help us be sustainable in the long run. We've mentioned affordability. A lot of the problems with affordability is that the city has to generate funds and make money to support more programs or more construction. We really need to explore a fourth revenue source to make sure that the city is sustainable long term. There could be an endowment fund. There could be investment in Austin businesses that we can then take that equity and sell to help fund other sources. There's a long-term vision that we need to work on. Our system is, the city system is based off papers and PDFs, what makes it hard to get information. We should move into a more database system. We talk about the budget. Everyone wants to know, hey, how about the budget? And it's really hard to understand. And if TurboTax can make the tax code accessible, I think we should do that effort to make sure that information is more accessible to people so that we can get more citizen input and we can use our brain power collectively here in Austin to solve some of our hardest problems.
Great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us, and it was very great talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you.